Hey guys, it's Angela Kim from the Squishy Monster TSM on YouTube, and today I've got this beautiful Cinderella pumpkin with me that my baby brother gifted me when he came down to see me from Seattle. So it's a very special pumpkin, and I decorated with him for Halloween, and now I'm going to chop him up and roast him to make this really beautiful and delicious double-layered pumpkin pie cheesecake. I've given this baby a bath, so now we can just take a sharp knife and cut him up so we can roast him in the oven. So take a sharp knife and just slice into him. I don't know why, but the song Poor Unfortunate Souls popped into my head from The Little Mermaid while I was chopping him up. But probably because he is so gorgeous. Just take a look at this meat. And yes, he's a little bit more high maintenance, but so worth it because of that almost custardy-like meat. And ladies, I don't know if you know this, but the raw pumpkin makes an incredible mask or scrub or an exfoliant. So all I'm going to do now is oil him up and pop him into a hot oven to roast him. My oven is preheating, and I cut all of my pumpkin into little cubes. This way it'll roast faster. And if you're feeling pretty impatient, you can also just boil them, but it's going to have a better taste and quality to the texture if you roast them like this. And alternatively, you can also just buy canned pumpkin. So I'm going to drizzle in some oil. I'm using grapeseed, but you can use canola, veggie, olive oil. Make sure it's not extra virgin. Toss it all together and pop it into my hot oven. Here I have some finely ground crumbs from my food processor, and I'm using ginger snaps because I think it'd be a really beautiful pairing, but you can use graham crackers if you'd like. And I'm using baby springform pans because I think they'd be extra cute, and I'm only doing this for 2 people, but the recipe below in my description box is for a full traditional size, about 8 to 10 inch cheesecake. So to the bottom of my pan, I have my crumbs, and I'm gonna drizzle in some melted unsalted butter. Just divide it between the two, and then you just want to form a crust either with your fingers or with a spoon. You just want to press it on the bottom, and my oven is still hot from my pumpkin, so I'm just going to pop these in there. For the cream cheese part, I want to take some softened room temperature cream cheese and sprinkle it with some granulated sugar and beat those together until they're light and fluffy. Remember to swipe along the sides of your bowl so that everything gets incorporated. Next, you can splash in your vanilla and then your egg, in room temperature egg, and I like to crack it into a separate bowl just so I can collect any shells that might appear. So just drop that in there and then whip it together. You want to make sure you don't over cream because you don't want to incorporate a lot of air into the cream cheese. Next, I want to puree my cooled pumpkin. You want it to cool a touch just so it doesn't shock everything else. When you bake, you want everything to be generally the same temperature, which is why I always stress room temperature, because when it gets in the oven, you don't want it to seize or have something cook faster than something else. So I can tumble in my cubed roasted pumpkin and just give it a whirl, and you can thin it out to loosen it and make it a little bit creamier with a little bit of water just as you need it. I just love that bright tangerine color of this, and it just smells so heavenly, and I just took a little spoonful of it and it tastes so creamy and so naturally sweet, and I haven't even done anything else to it. So to this, I'm gonna sprinkle in my pumpkin spice, and I have a recipe for fresh homemade pumpkin spice. It'll be a link below. And then I want to put in my brown sugar, which again, I showed you how to make in the 3-minute salted caramel video that I have. And then a little bit of salt to offset that sweetness. And then my egg and my cream. And I'm really gonna put my food processor to work because I'm gonna let it whirl everything for me, and then a splash of vanilla. When your crusts have cooled, you can begin layering in your cheesecake and your pumpkin pie. I would recommend doing the cheesecake just because it is heavier. So that is a big dollop. Let's do a few more, just so I make an even layer of pie to cheesecake ratio. And I just love these individual little cheesecake springform pans because, I don't know, it just feels special, kind of like a cupcake. You get one all to yourself, and so it's just really, really nice. Scrape off all of that. That is delicious. And then just squiggle him around to make a flat, even layer, and then you can pour your pumpkin pie on top. I've double wrapped my baby springform pans in tin foil, and I placed them in a larger baking sheet because I want to fill them with a water bath. And I have my oven preheated, and I'm going to pop them in so they can kind of gently bake off. So from a recently boiled kettle, you just want to spill in the water. Just make sure you don't get it into the springform pans. While my cheesecake is baking, I pureed the rest of my pumpkin, and it yielded me 15 8-ounce bags of fresh homemade pumpkin puree. So big thank you to my baby brother Daniel. I'll be making tons of stuff with this, so be on the lookout for videos featuring homemade pumpkin puree. Only after your pumpkin pie cheesecake has chilled adequately can you release him from his pan. So you can unlatch and then lift him up. And there we have it. You can see the definition of the cheesecake and the pumpkin pie layer. It is so pretty, and I love that you get kind of like a 2-in-1. I love that with this, you experience kind of a buy one get one free deal. So let's see how it tastes. Immediately, you get that creamy classic pumpkin pie, and it's swirled together with that really decadent creamy cheesecake. It is like the best of both worlds combined into one, into a pumpkin pie cheesecake. I so hope you guys give this a try and maybe have it on your Thanksgiving table. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was Angela Kim from the Squishy Monster TSM on YouTube, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!